would you promise for services? Thank you. You're going to be just like Julian, right? Okay. You're eating oneg already? As I call you out. It's an egg. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
So great that we are able to be together. Hey, Eliana, you want to help me with a song, but from your seat? Okay, friends, I don't know how many of you probably all know this song, but Eliana, will you do the hand motions? So let's welcome Shabbat with a song I know we all know. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. I like the enthusiasm coming from Eliana. Hopefully it'll spread and we will all have that much ruach as we continue our services together. I invite you to open up your prayer books to page 120 so we can welcome Shabbat with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. I have a question. Hey, three friends in the front, come here. You know, we like candles. Okay, hold on to my arm. Let's do it together. Hold on to my arm. Hold on to my arm. You have to help me lift it up. We get it? Good job, friends. Now let's all bring in the warmth of Shabbat and join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Wonderful. Thank you, friends, for helping me. You did a great job. Let us read together on page 125. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Let us continue welcoming Shabbat with the words of Lecha Dodi, page 138. We'll sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we reach that 9th verse, if you would like, I invite you to rise and to face the door so we can metaphorically greet the Sabbath bride into our community. Page 138 and 139. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmianu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litila Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mikor habracha meirosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'maksheva techila. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri kiva ore kumi ori uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alaich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. I invite you to rise if you wish and face the door. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uvesohola toch emunei am segula boi chala Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 panei Shabbat nekabela. Before you take your seats, we greeted the Sabbath bride. Now let's take a moment to greet each other. I think we are an intimate group enough that you should know everybody's name by the end of tefillah this evening, if we could make that happen. You think we can make that happen? Maybe. So let's go greet somebody, maybe not the person you arrived with, maybe not the person you're sitting next to, but go wish someone a Shabbat Shalom. Let's continue this theme of welcoming as we turn to page 142 and we welcome those ministering angels with the words of Shalom Aleichem, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzeitchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We turn the page 144. Yitgadal v'kadash shomei rabba, be'alma divrach lirotev yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, ve'imeru, Yahei Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Olam Me'almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitroman, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudesha Barichu, Le'elam Min Kol Berchata V'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen. Page 146, I invite you to please rise. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. You may be seated. Let us read together at the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night, As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Together on page 150. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. As we turn the page to page 152 and we find the words of Shema, I invite you to rise if you wish. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. Let us continue chanting together, page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol avavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvleftecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kiddoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Let us read together on the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. We sing together on page 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, no ratehilot, o seifele, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, no ratehilot, o seifele, o seifele. Let us read together on page 161, beginning in the middle. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God, Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. I want to know if anybody wants to share, what is their favorite thing about Shabbat? Favorite thing about Shabbat? Yeah. Challah. Good choice. Anybody else? A favorite thing about Shabbat? Yeah?
It makes me feel close to God.
Wonderful. Something different. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
It makes me remember about people.
Nice. Anybody else? Yeah. Get to have family dinners and treats. More than just challah sometimes, right? But challah is a good start. So as we think about all these things that we love about Shabbat, let us sing those words that we add to our Shabbat services so we can celebrate Shabbat. Vishamru, page 162. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. In a moment, we're going to enter our Amidah, or our Tefillah. If there's ever a Jeopardy question, yes, it is a prayer section with two names. Amidah means the position we are in when we are doing it, just means standing. And Tefillah just means prayer, but it is the central prayer of our evening service. It gives us an opportunity to think about our ancestors before us, about the strength of God, and about our ability to be kadosh, to be holy, whatever that means for you. Tonight, though, before we enter our Amidah, I want you to think about the word prayer. I'm going to guess if I ask, and I'm going to ask, but it is up to you if you want to share, what the first thing is that pops into your mind when we say the word prayer, that we might have a few different answers. So if anybody's willing to share, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? God. Thank you, Reggie.
Prayers.
Connection. Introspection. Grateful.
So let us think of these words, and I'm sure all of the many that are going on in the word cloud of your mind right now, as we enter our Amidah, We'll join together on page 164, and we will continue chanting in Hebrew on the right-hand side of the page together, and then we'll have an opportunity for private prayer as well. Page 164, I invite you to rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach u'viyadi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotinu v'Eloheinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo v'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Le'oshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Nofli V'Rofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Geburot, U'Midom Elav, Melech Me'it, U'Mechayeh, U'Masmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'kol yom yehalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. I invite you to continue silently, either the words you find on the pages until page 180, or the words you find in your own hearts this evening, and I invite you to be seated whenever you wish. shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. I asked a question a little earlier about what we think of when we think of the word prayer. And for me, sometimes, not always, that first word that comes to mind is shalom, is peace. Because no matter if I am in a sanctuary, or if I am outdoors at camp, or if I'm on a sand dune in the Negev desert, when I pray with a group of people, it brings me peace. I know, though, that there are those who have a little bit more trouble in these moments finding their peace, and it's possibly because they suffer illness of body, illness of spirit, or illness of mind. So we turn our prayers now to those in need of healing. Our Mishaberach prayer of healing can be found on page 371. Tonight, our community thinks of Joy Lewis, Lucy Silva, Minna Bat Yentl, Mordechai Ben Dina, Rowan Hausman, Anna Carlo, Judy Roheim, Friedel Tamaro Bat Liba Bela, Manucha Pesa Bat Cherny Umosha, Gretchen Haynes, Dorian Reeson, Steve Sinkoff, Linda Weinstein, Ruby Smolinski, Lee Kaplan, Jennifer Casson, Vicky Firstel, and Storm Matthews. If there are others you are thinking of this evening, I invite you to share their names as my eyes meet yours. Let us pray for all in need of healing, page 371. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So I prepared a sermon for this evening, but I think I want to do something a little bit more fun. Everybody okay with that? Everybody okay with that? Okay, so I'm going to come down here. Sorry, friends on YouTube, hopefully you can still hear me. Although all my small ones wandered off. I might need some help. So grown-ups, you're going to have to help me too. So I want to share a story with everybody. And grown-ups, you have to participate too, especially you, because you know the story. So when I put my hand up like this, what do I say? Mountain. And if I put my hand, I can't get any lower, but this is as far as I'm going to go, down like this. on one side a, and on another side, and they're driving along and things are going really well. They're having one of those great father-son conversations that I imagine happens between fathers and sons in a car. And they're driving and then all of a sudden, in front of them is a boulder. And there's nowhere to go. Because on one side there's a mountain, and on the other side there's a cliff. And so they need to figure out how to get past this boulder. So the son says, I'm going to get out of the car and I'm going to move this boulder. So the son gets out of the car, goes up to the boulder, just thinking about this is hurting my back, but starts moving the boulder. But of course, it's human versus this giant boulder on this windy road. So do you think he moves the boulder just by moving, trying to push with his hands? No. And so he thinks to himself, I don't know what I'm going to do. Our car is here, the boulder is in front of me, on this side's the mountain, on this side's the cliff, and I can't move this boulder, but I need to figure out how to do it. So the son goes back to the car and looks for things in the trunk of the car. And so first he sees, what are they called?
Tire check.
Sure. Is that like a long, yeah, thank you. Yeah, tire jack? No, that's the thing that goes
Well, that's the wrong thing.
No, what's the
Like
like a lever? The story's much better when I have words, right? So it's the long thing, it's like metal, it's a pole, you think it's gonna help, right? Okay. Just imagine it in your head, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. He takes it out of the truck, walks up to the boulder, puts it underneath the boulder, and tries to get a little leverage on it, right? Thinks he's gonna do it, he pushes down, but that is a big boulder, and it does nothing. Probably hurts his back, but does nothing. So he walks back to the trunk of the car, puts the rod thingy that I can't figure out the name of away, and all he thinks to himself is, how are we going to get around this boulder? Because on one side of me is a mountain, and on the other side of me there's a cliff. And so he looks around in his trunk, and he's looking for other things that he could use. So he finds a baseball bat. So he takes the baseball bat, now I remember what it was called, goes over to the boulder, and he's like, what can I do for this? So at first he tries to hit the boulder. It didn't do anything. Probably chipped the baseball bat, but did nothing to the boulder. Then he tried to do the same thing, get around it and push down. Nothing happened. And he kept going back and forth and keep thinking about how on one side of me there's a mountain, and on the other side there's a cliff. And they really needed to get around the boulder. And the son kept going back and forth, and he couldn't figure out how to move the boulder. So who has an idea? How could he maybe move the boulder? Great idea, Reggie. You heard this story before? Get his dad to help him. Reggie remembered that this was a son in his car with his dad. The whole time he was trying to move the boulder by himself. His On Shabbat, we're told that for 6 days of the week, not Shabbat, but 6 days of the week, we create new things. But on Shabbat, we're supposed to pause, eat a lot of delicious food, and challah and everything, but like revel in the beauty of the things that has been created. And that's how we too on Shabbat are B'Tselem Elohim. We're God-like, created in the image of God. We're partners with God 6 days of the week, but also on the 7th we're partners by letting it go and letting it relax, letting ourselves relax, maybe doing something that makes it feel a little bit different, maybe hanging out with family, whatever it is, not going to school, right? That's a different thing that happens. Whatever it is. And so whatever you do for this Shabbat, think about the situation on we almost lost it. Cliff. And how they needed to help each other in order to successfully make it to their destination. And also think about how you can partner with each other in order to be partners with God throughout every single day of the week. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, Julian really wanted to help open the ark. Do you think he's coming back? Okay, Eliana too. I lost my ark. Harrison, will you help open the ark?
He would love.
Okay, so we're going to return now to our prayer book where we find the words of Aleinu, page 586. And Harrison, will you come help me open the ark? And as Harrison opens the ark, I'm going to invite all my friends to please rise. I'm going to go all the way up there. Will you pull this side? This side first. Pull right there and walk backwards. Perfect. You don't have to hide that, you can come out with me. Let us join together, page 586 at the bottom. You want to face the Torahs with me. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, la'tekedu la'liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzon, v'lo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'goraleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Let us read together on page 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yihya Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Push it in, wash your fingers. All as good as we're gonna get it. Perfect. You may be seated. Do you want some candy? Is it okay? As our Shabbat evening prayers draw to a close, we turn our thoughts to our loved ones who are no more. Tonight we remember two taken from us in the past 30 days, Herman Van Oz and Shirley Marvin. To their names we add the names of those who died during the past year: Marvin Bender, Donald Ostern, Elaine Garver, Robert Feldman, Eileen Burton, Virginia Gordon, Bruce Dunham, Jim Bullman, R.B. Dickerson, Moni Mayer, Joanne Strickler, Richard Berenson Stone, John Wormser, Robert Eisenbach, Jerry Suppos, Donald Kim, Hannah Bine, Nathan Zuckerman, and Bernie Flicker. We also think of those who died at this season in years past and whose family members are observing the Yortzeit, the anniversary of death. Richard Alkus, Saul Brooks, Charles Bowler, Carolyn Feinberg, Henry Jacobs, Lena Cantor, James Pickholtz, Golda Rodman, Ben Ronan, Pauline Rubin. If there are others you are thinking of this evening, I invite you to share their names aloud as my eyes meet yours. We turn together to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 598 in our prayer books, and I invite you to rise if you wish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon of yom echon uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, v'agala ubizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yahei shmei Rabba mevarach leolam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yahei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Zikro nam livracha, may all their memories be for a blessing. As together we say, Amen. You may be seated. I'm going to share just a few brief announcements about things coming up. Tomorrow we will be having Torah study in the social hall at 9:30, both in person and on Zoom. There'll be a Shabbat minyan in the green room at 10, in person only. Services right here in the sanctuary at 10:30, both in person and on YouTube. And there will be a virtual Havdalah at 8 p.m. hosted by the Saxey family on Zoom. All of the information on how to get to YouTube and Zoom you hopefully received in your weekly email. The Mega Challah Bake is Sunday, and you must register in advance, and the link to register again was hopefully you received it in the weekly email. We are now accepting donations for our annual Turkey Train program, which is going to be when? Remind me. Thank you for knowing that. November 13th. Help us provide meals for the underprivileged in our community. More information also about how to participate in this mitzvah was also sent in the weekly email. The next meeting of the book club is on Sunday, November 13th at 2 p.m. So do Turkey Train with us first and then stay later in the afternoon to discuss the book that they are reading, which I don't have written down, but that was probably also sent in the weekly email. And also remember, if you would like a book of remembrance, they are here in a basket for those of you with us tonight. If you'd like to take one home, for those of you with us on YouTube, you can always come during the week and pick one up as well. Any other after services tonight? There's going to be some sweet treats. Thank you, Josh, for bringing us a sweet treat to be able to have oneg together. Any other I think this will go out in the weekly email when it's set, but I think the next music Shabbat with Joey Roth will be November 11th, I think is the next one. I have to double check that, but join us for that so we can continue hearing his beautiful voice. Anything else? Let us conclude by singing together on page 625, the words of Adon Olam. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'chefsa Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Vehu haya, vehu hove, vehu yeh betifara Adon Olam, vehu echad, v'ein sheni, leham shilo lehachbira Adon Olam, beli reshit, beli tachlit, velo ha'oz v'ham Yisra Adon Olam, Vehu Eli, Vechai Goali, Vetzor Chevli Be'et Sarah Adon Olam, Vehu Nisi, Umanosli, Menat Kosi Beyom Ekra Adon Olam, Beyado Afkid Ruchi, Be'et Ishan Ve'ayira Adon Olam, Ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li velo ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'chefsa Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. We turn back in our books to page 123 so we can join together in Kiddush and then Motzi. I invite you to please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lamikrae kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. Came back for the fellow.
Daddy picked me up.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min friends. Okay. Do you want to hold these? It didn't come off all the way. Can I help you? You want one of these?
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Let's take these to your brother because he's so excited for the college. Sometimes we need to get out and walk around, right? Please take some To not give my sermon?
Yeah.